Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, aren't you tempted with other women? Got an email here from a viewer, and the girl he's dating actually said that to him. So before we get into his email and what she's really trying to say, got a quote I'd like to share. Problems and challenges are life's way of molding you into the person you need to become so you can reach your full potential. The experience you gain in overcoming a difficult time or obstacle today prepares you for even bigger challenges down the road. As we grow, expand, and take bigger and bigger risks, we also put ourselves in a position to potentially experience greater and greater downside risk. To minimize risk and unpleasant consequences, we must take action based upon careful planning, review, and consideration instead of fear-based reaction. So let's go ahead and just a pretty short email. So he says, "Hey Corey, thanks to watching your videos and reading your book, I have been dating and sleeping with a woman for 10 months. Well, awesome. Must be a new record for you. Congratulations." He says, "We see each other on average about once every 2 weeks. Sometimes it runs into 3 weeks. This is because we live a distance apart and have differing work schedules." Yeah, long-distance relationships can be a real pain in the ass, especially when you're dating somebody that lives in another country that's maybe a dozen or so hours away just by plane. He says, "Everything seems to be good between us. The only thing is that every now and again, she brings up the matter of, don't you feel tempted with other women while we are apart?" That's usually basically, when a woman says that, she's unsure of herself usually when she brings that up. And really what she's doing is just fishing around to see how much you really care about her and what your response would be. And the other one she says to him is, perhaps she would like someone a little closer and this sort of thing. So, I mean, usually that's a good indication that she's feeling a little insecure about things and she just wants a little love and reassurance in that moment. And so it's just simple. Let me get into what this guy actually responded, or what he said, and we'll pick that apart, and then I'll say what I would have actually said if I was in that particular situation with that girl. He says, "It usually comes right out of the blue. That's the way women are, man. They test you. It's like you just never know. They always want to know, how much do you love me? How much do you care about me? And they're trying to figure that out. And it's a good thing that she's asking that, because if she's asking that, that tells me that she's a little bit unsure of where she stands. And as you've probably heard me say maybe 10,000 times by now, it's a scientific fact that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. And so this is a good sign. This is helpful. And some women might get pissed at me for that, but hey, that's the way women are. And at the end of the day, I have found over many years, and having coached thousands of clients, that women perform better in a relationship. In other words, they're more attracted to the guy if they really can't figure you out, if you're mysterious. That's why they read all the romance novels. And it's just a fact of life. And if it's a fact of life and you understand that truth, you can use it to help you give your woman what it is that she needs in order to feel the time and the space away from you, which actually causes her to want you even more. It's all about feeling her emotions and feeling her feelings for you. And then when she comes to a place where she's kind of unsure, or maybe she doubts that you care about her as much as she maybe once thought you did, that's usually when she reaches out, calls you to say she was thinking about you, or that she missed you, those kinds of things, because she wants to feel your love. She wants to feel your presence. I talk about this a lot in my book. And so in that appropriate moment, when she becomes unsure of herself and then she reaches out, that's when you respond with love and reassurance to her. So he says, my usual reply, and I'll listen to his reply here. He says, my usual reply is along the lines of, I am happy enough with you, so there is no point. It's not really a great response. But let's talk about the second half of his response. He says, but it sounds like you are losing interest in me. If you wish to finish, it's fine by me. I want you, but I don't want you to be dating me unless you really want to. It's not fair to me or you. And so that communicates to me that you don't really know where you stand in the relationship and that you doubt the future of the relationship. And that kind of a response is only going to make her doubt you more, because you're not talking, I mean, think about it. Are you talking like a guy who sounds like this girl's totally head over heels in love with you? Or do you sound like a guy who is fearful that he may get dumped or blown off in a statement like that? Remember, I say this a lot. Nothing a woman says should diminish you in any capacity, especially when she talks in a way that you may make you feel fearful that you're going to lose her. And when you feel that way, and when you react that way, and you respond the way with the kind of words that you're responding, that's going to actually cause her to doubt your masculine core and become unsure of you, unsure of her feelings, because instead of expressing confidence in your love and your desire for her, and also your own confidence in her love and desire for you, you're now expressing that you're unsure of yourself and you're unsure of whether or not she really wants to be with you. But you're also saying you could take it or leave it either way. And so if my girl says, don't you feel tempted with other women while we're apart? You can say, why? Do you feel tempted with other men? Do you have fantasies about other guys other than me? You watching too much TV? Are you falling in love with a guy that's in your favorite soap opera? I mean, have fun with it. Tease her. Be playful. It's like, and so what she's looking for is love and reassurance. Don't you feel tempted with other women while apart? You say, baby, nobody can compare to you. You're so fucking hot. It's like, when we're apart, you're in the back of my mind. You're like always there. I would love seeing your texts or your emails come up. And I always love, one of the things I don't like the fact that we live so far apart, but it is what it is. What's kind of nice about it is when we get together, it's almost like kissing again for the first time. In other words, we get together when we really miss each other when we see each other. It's a lot more intense. And if we were in each other's faces all the time, we wouldn't have that. So let's enjoy it while we can. He says, perhaps you would like someone a little closer. Then you say, well, why don't you move a little closer then if you think you're so far away? It's always turn around and like point it back at her as if she's, because at the end of the day, she's kind of feeling insecure about the whole situation. In a loving, playful way, you can reassure her that you care about her and also basically communicate in a playful way. That's kind of silly what you're saying. But in essence, all she's really looking for is validation that you care and you love her. Because if you read my book, you know that a woman in love with you, she wants your attention all the fucking time, basically. And if your girl doesn't want your attention all the fucking time, if she's not calling you or texting you 2 or 3 times a day with sweet messages, she's not staying over at your place, you're not staying over at her place every night, and you're just always together, then that tells me she's not completely gonzo head over heels in love with you. And when a woman is like that and you keep her there consistently, she's going to want to be with you 24/7, whether she's hanging at your place or you're over at her place. That's just the way it is. And if your girl that you're dating is not presently doing that, then you got some work to do. That means that she does not feel that level of desire and attraction for you to the point where she like wants to be with you 24/7. And facts are the facts. Women do what they do, and it's like, and you know, maybe you're watching this, it's pissing you off a little bit, but at the end of the day, if a woman is not acting like that, her interest is not in the 90% range. And 90% range is where she's completely head over heels in love with you. She only has eyes for you. She only wants to be with you. She's calling you all the time. She's texting you all the time. She's wanting to be with you all of the time. Not in a needy way, but just because you make her feel so safe and so comfortable and so loved, and she's so open to you that there's no holding back on either side. But if you're kind of not seeing each other very often and she doesn't call you very often, that tells me that you've got some work to do. And so I would say go back and review the book, because that will tell you exactly where you're going wrong. Look at the interest level table that I have in my book so you can tell exactly where you are emotionally. It's going to fluctuate based upon your actions. That's why guys who get married or they move in with their girl, they have kids with her, whatever, and she's in love with them, after a couple of years they get lazy, they get complacent, and they stop courting her like they once were. And then all of a sudden they find out that she's hooking up with another dude, and it totally comes out of the blue, or she breaks up with them or dumps them or moves out or says, I want a divorce. It's because they're not paying attention. It's like and the reason it happens, it happens slowly. Women fall in love slowly, and they also fall out of love slowly. It's like the analogy I like to use of the frog. You know, you put a frog in a boiling pot of water, it's going to jump right out. but you put the frog in a pot of warm water, and he's just going to sit and he's going to swim around. He's going to be totally cool. And you turn the heat up slowly, he's going to boil to death. Well, it's kind of the same thing, because the interest dropping takes place over so many days, so many weeks, and so many months. It's that the guy really doesn't see it coming until it's too late. And that's why, if you don't know the interest level table that's in my book, you're going to be like, oh, this girl's in love, she's crazy about me. And then all of a sudden, 2 months later, you're going to realize you're not spending as much time together. And then when you see that and you realize, oh my God, you get into a fearful place, and then you start falling under what I like to call the illusion of action, where you chase, you over pursue, and then that just makes things worse and worse, to the point where she gives you a let's just be friends speech. So it's important to be cognizant and aware of these things, and then not freak out about it, but say, you know what, my girl's not doing all these things that Corey was just mentioning that a woman does when she's head over heels in love. And if she was doing them in the past and she's not doing them now, all it means is that right now her interest is not as high as it once was, and you've got some work to do. So he says, she's always happy with me and does not want to finish, so that's a good sign. But like I said, I wouldn't be bringing that thing up the way you're bringing it up, because at the end of the day, if she wanted to break up with you, she'd break up with you. He says, do you think this is something I should be concerned about, or is it just a little insecurity? I'd say a little bit of both. You're a little bit insecure, and your actions are not completely where they need to be, because this relationship's been going on for 10 months. I mean, if she was completely head over heels in love with you, where like she couldn't figure out where you felt about her, or how you felt about her, what I've noticed in these particular situations is like when I talk to guys, anytime the man is doing more than 20% of the calling, texting, pursuing, it's too much. And that may keep her like in 70 to 80% interest, where she's just kind of fluctuating back and forth. But it's not enough tension, it's not enough space to get her into the 90% range. In other words, you literally become more attractive over time. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, as far as attractiveness, where you might have started out as a 6 in her eyes, when she's in love, you're a 9 or a 10 in her eyes, because you're fulfilling her needs in every way. And you give her the time, you give her the space, and enough of it to where she consistently is constantly wondering or thinking, I think I'm a little more into him than he is into me. And what that does is causes her to reach out, and then you just embrace her and make the date, or hug her and kiss her, obviously, if you're standing there in person. So my advice to you, and he also says, she asked me to attend her relative's wedding in September, so she's forward planning with me, or so it seems. Like, so yeah, I'd say you're right about that, but you definitely, my advice to you is to go back and review my book, because you'll start to look at the interest level table, because you'll see, based upon the actions of your girl, I'd say her interest is probably 70 to 80% at this point, that's not being head over heels in love, but it's also not the point where she would consider dating anybody else. So like I said, you got some work to do to get her interest to the point where she's calling and texting you a couple of times a day. That's what a woman does when she's head over heels in love with you. That's just the way it is. Doesn't mean it doesn't matter if she's in Saudi Arabia or Pakistan or India or Australia or the UK or Brazil or Chile or Canada. Doesn't matter. It's like I talk to guys all over the world on every freaking continent, and every woman's the same. As long as she's normal and she's healthy, they respond to what they respond to. And you can ignore that, but you ignore that at your own peril. So if you've got a situation that you'd like to get my help with, whether it's in your personal life, or you're having problems in business, you want to figure out what your purpose is, or you just want to improve the overall sense of satisfaction, happiness, and well-being in your life, go to my website right now, click the products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and follow the instructions for booking a paid phone session. And I will talk to you soon.